Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Here with us, so this is another segment of In Mahdina Forum YouTube channels, and with a more youth members and also with a more youth topics. So this is like the first episode of this segment.
Yeah, and I'm Ashifanur Aisyah, but people call me Sasha. And currently, I'm juggling between pursuing my master degree and also working as a marketing director at a startup company. And on this special segment, we have two special guests from high school, and we're going to talk about topics that are related with high school problems. And for today's discussion, we're going to talk about how to overcome your insecurities and embracing your uniqueness.
Yeah, so please introduce yourself, guys. I'm Famita Wijayanti.
I'm Yozaidayani. I'm currently a 10th grade high schoolers, and I'm really excited to be here with you guys.
My name is Talia Shifara Mahandaru. I'm also currently in the 10th grade in high school, and I'm currently preparing for my IGCSE final external examinations. And I'm also really excited to be here.
Yes, of course. So before we start discussing, so why we choose this topic? We should know.
Yeah, I choose the topic because I think the insecurities is a topic that are very related with a younger generation, because I also once experiencing those kind of insecurities. So I think throughout the years it is important to acknowledge your insecurities or your weaknesses so you can overcome that, and you can improve yourself and be better.
Yeah, of course, I relate to it too, because those days back in my high school days also I faced a lot of insecurities as well.
Yeah, I think everyone experienced that.
Everyone at least once have experienced this insecurities, right? So before we start, we should know the definitions of insecurities. So for me, insecurities is like being uncertain about the things that you have and the things that you you do, like and feel like lack on confidence and feel like you are like unable to do something that you are actually good at. So
yeah, that's the feeling of unsure about yourself, and like you feel not so great about yourself, and like you drop yourself, you think you're not good enough, and then you start comparing yourself with others and worry about what other people think. I think that is insecurities to me.
Yeah, insecurities for me is the feeling when you're down or being depressed about anything. It is a common thing nowadays, and I thought it was really bad if it becomes worse. And anything can be so stressful, and you get yourself being depressed over something that actually you can overcome it.
Yeah.
And I think it's just about the person who don't know or maybe haven't found out about what is the unique thing that he has or she has. So they still admiring and envying about what other people has and didn't look after herself.
To me, insecurities is about comparing yourself to others. It comes from that. It roots from constantly worrying about what other people think, as mentioned by Kasasa, and also just feeling that you lack something or you're doubting yourself, that you think you need to have this in order to be liked or to be good, and I think it can be really damaging to someone's perspective of themselves.
Maybe because we tend to compare ourselves with other people, so we feel that kind of burden, and we afraid to like being criticized as well.
Yes. Afraid of being judged.
So because in my experience, I once faced the insecurities because I'm actually know that I'm good at I'm a good speaker, so I tend to speak in front of a lot of people, that I become confident because of that. But turns out when I'm being criticized, because back in my days, like I'm still young, so I feel like I'm not good enough. So because they criticize me, that makes me that, oh, that means I'm not good. So that's the things that makes me insecure. But because of that, so I'm kind of think that maybe because like Talia said and all of you guys said, like Lisa also says about being envy about other people's and comparing ourselves with other people's, so that the things that makes us actually being insecure. So have you guys ever experienced feeling
Yeah,
of insecurities
yeah,
itself?
of course. Like back in a high school era, I think my insecurities is different with the insecurities that I have now. Like back in my high school era, I think the insecurities I have is more like on the appearance, like physical appearance, because I have a bad acne. But and then now I think my insecurities has shifted, like when I start comparing other people's achievement, like when they have good careers, or they already or they have good grades or something. But when I start to realize that everyone has their own uniqueness, since we're going to talk about uniqueness, like when I realize that people has their own journey and their own timing, so people has their potential to do better too.
For me, sure, there are moments that I felt a bit insecure, especially when I encounter someone who is more excels than me in the things that I'm not, or when someone judge me by my appearance, like you're so skinny, you're so short. But then I remind myself that insecurity is just a feeling of lack in some way, and it actually normal for us to have that. Yeah. The key is to discover something remarkable about yourself that others will think that you stand out with it. So overcoming insecurities and boosting your self-confidence is about recognizing your uniqueness, and so you can be yourself without unreasonable fears.
Yeah, as a high schooler myself, currently I can definitely confirm that there are insecurities that I've been facing, but it is important to know that I used it as a motivation to kind of overcome it instead of just leaving it as is. One of the insecurities that I faced was my academic grades. I actually didn't. I felt like my grades were lower than other people, and I constantly compared myself with people that would do better than me, which made me, it made me feel sad. It made me feel like there was nothing else I could do, even though there really was, and I could have embraced my uniqueness earlier to kind of build up that strength instead of just giving up from that.
And I think that's the downside of feeling insecure, because you cannot find anything to help you become better. Like you just stood there and do nothing. But when you found out the what is it, like how you can improve your grades on your own terms, you can do better at your grades, right? Rather than comparing other people's way to achieve good grades.
Yeah, I think that's the right thing, because also Lisa said about she felt insecure about being too small, also being too thin. Maybe it's because you compare yourself with the beauty standard that made by a lot of people, by the environment, like because the beauty standard itself said that we cannot be too fat, also cannot be too thin. Also we have to be at I think like 160 centimeter. It's like the standard of the standard of the height that we should have. But actually, because you small, maybe you can be like more capable of doing something more than the one that is taller than you. Because you can find something like that. But because we feel insecure, also we think that we are insecure, so it became something like makes you don't want to develop yourself.
Yeah.
It's
Like
like hold
Asa
your
said.
back.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm feeling insecure because of this, so I don't want
So
to.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. And when you forced to do that, you just like, okay, I'm just doing like, okay, I'm just doing it. Whatever will be. But then you regret it because you it became
Yeah.
like bad, like more than worse than your own expectations.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
yes, right?
Yeah.
Because we think a lot about insecurities, so we become insecure, and it makes
Yeah.
us don't want to go anywhere. We don't want to develop this and that.
Yeah,
Have you
makes
guys?
us pessimistic.
Yeah, and don't want to be better in this and in that kind of field. So you guys have this kind of experience too, like you have the feel that I'm feeling insecure. Oh, I don't want to do this, like this kind of like that.
I do. I'm actually bad at things that like arts and sports. These are two weakness that I really can't do it. So I feel like when maybe an example, when I have an art course, we should do something like painting, right? And yeah, I can do it, and so that's the time when like I won't do it, but I have to. So I have to do it because of my grades, right? So I just did it, and yeah, it became worse than my expectations.
Yeah, that those kind of things, because we
Yeah.
we tend to think that insecurities, we are insecure about this, so we don't want to do it, and when we forced to do it, it became worse because we think that we cannot do
We
it.
cannot do it,
Yeah.
but actually we
Yeah,
can.
actually we can because we all have the uniqueness, right?
Yeah.
Like Talia said that maybe we can find, and also Lisa also said, and Sasa also said about the uniqueness, like we can because I feel insecure about this, but then I find a way to overcome it, then it became something that's unique to us also. So talking about unique, yeah, unique, because this is in our
Topic
title
today.
topic today. So uniqueness. So what is the uniqueness? For me, uniqueness is like remarkable. Like it can be something that we are good at, or also come from our personality or character.
Yeah.
For it's actually within us. How about your opinion, guys?
I think so too. Like I think unique is like the combination of your personality, your character, your passion about something, or your skills, and anything that truly makes you you and truly makes you special and differentiate you from other people. So I think that is uniqueness. Be different.
Yeah. For me, uniqueness is something that makes you stand out among others, and the things that you actually can do it. Maybe it's not better than others, but it's something that you believe that you can do it.
Yeah.
Something like that.
How about Talia?
For me, I think uniqueness means to be different, to stand out, and there's I think there's a fear in people to be. They're scared that they're too different, or they're different in a bad way, that they don't want to show
Their
the
uniqueness.
good parts of their uniqueness, the positive side, and instead they hide it, and in turn it makes them more insecure. It makes it more hard to accept themselves. So I think when it comes to uniqueness, when you embrace it, you fully understand yourself, you fully find yourself, and also love yourself.
Yeah, because uniqueness, in my experience, uniqueness is kind of something that make me like stand out. Not because just stand out, but I feel like I'm become more confident because of that. Not just became different, but also something that makes me be confident, be more confident,
Yeah.
and less insecure about myself.
Yeah.
Like I told you before that I used to be like afraid of talking in front of people because I was criticized once. But then when I find my uniqueness, because a lot of people, not a lot of people, but people told me that I have this kind of smiley smile whenever I speak in front of people, whenever I speak, though I'm not smiling, they find myself smiling. So and it's not like you're forced to do that, but you just do it. So that's the thing that I find as my uniqueness. So when I find it, I feel like I became more confident, and I was feel like less insecure. And also because of this uniqueness too, I can overcome my own insecurities, because I used to maybe you guys haven't see it, but I try a lot of solutions to overcome this kind of insecurity. So I was like, I took off my shoes, I even exercising myself in front of a lot of people, but it doesn't change anything. But once I find my own uniqueness, that turns out it became something like, oh, maybe I don't differentiate myself with other people, but I was like, okay, this is my change. So I became more enjoyer when I talk in front of a lot of people. Have you guys experienced have you guys have your own uniqueness?
Talking about discovering uniqueness,
Yeah.
I think it is a lifelong journey to find
Yeah.
what makes you truly unique, and you're not finding your uniqueness yet. But
Yeah.
I think throughout the years you will find your what things that makes you unique. And for my experience, I think my uniqueness is easily adapt to something like not just the environment, not just the circle of friends, but to the certain conditions too. Like when I want to present something, like my group of friends is so nervous, but I can easily adapt to that situation, and then I can like calms me down. And I think that is one of my uniqueness.
Yeah, because uniqueness is not only about
But
abilities,
and
but
skills,
it's also about yourself. It's the
Yeah.
inner self that you have or actually have, but you just don't make it stood out in front of a lot of people. So have you guys the high schooler
Yes.
experience your uniqueness?
For me, I actually haven't found it out, but before this, we already talked about this insecurities, right? And this uniqueness, and as Kapamita said before, I do actually good at English, and maybe it's not at the higher level of English, and maybe it's just like intermediate level, but I do want it to become a uniqueness, and I want it. So I think for the future, maybe I can
Improve.
develop it.
Yeah.
Develop it so it can really become my uniqueness.
Maybe you just don't figure it out yourself, but people already realize that's your uniqueness,
Yes.
and people come to you when they want to ask about English
Yeah.
course, right?
How about
But you just don't realize it.
Yeah.
For me, I think I agree. It's kind of hard actually to find your own uniqueness. Sometimes you don't even realize that you have it.
Yeah.
But one thing that I did realize recently is that I tend to be a fast learner. That's why I don't. Maybe even though I haven't mastered a skill, I noticed that I actually can learn it pretty fast, and it's not difficult for me as long as as long as I practice. So I actually really like that about myself, because that means that I can branch out my passion, my skills, and I can tell other people, oh, I like doing this, I like doing that. This is one of my hobbies. This is one of my skills, and even though I'm not excellent at it yet, but I've tried, and it makes me feel better about myself.
Yeah, but actually, uniqueness is not something that you have to be master of.
Yeah.
You just do it because you became more confident, and
Yeah.
you feel that, oh, because I feel like this kind of thing makes me stood out in front of among of people. So maybe it's just like among of your friends, you find that yourself, maybe
Yeah.
Lisa, you find yourself being good at English because your friends a kind of doesn't do it or something like that.
Yeah.
But but actually they can too, but they just don't want to, atau or or maybe they just like they don't try it out because
Yeah.
they afraid of something or anything. Because I don't know, like in my environment, a lot of people have these kind of barriers in English.
Yes.
So yeah, it became something that, so English can be uniqueness because not everyone can do it, but actually they can, but they
Yeah,
just
but they
Yeah,
just don't
they
want
just
to.
don't want to.
Yeah.
And also in beauty standard, like maybe Lisa said about before about being too thin,
thin.
too skinny, or something like that. It can be also like the uniqueness, like you have a lot of you have a dimple,
Yeah.
because I find my friend being insecure about that, but I don't feel like it doesn't something that you should be like, you should be feeling insecure.
Insecure about,
Also
yeah.
the insecurities itself, it's just something that you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just
Yes.
something that you have in mind. It's not something, it doesn't something that actually mean uh
Mean
mean
something.
something big, but it's just something that you have in mind and you don't want to change it. If you change the word into the weakness, maybe you want to develop it.
Yeah.
Like you feel insecure about math, and then you change the terms into a weakness. Maybe you want to develop it because
Yeah.
because it is weaknesses, your weaknesses, not your insecurities. But yeah, so also we how to use uniqueness to feel less insecure.
Yeah.
Have you guys experienced this?
Yes, actually, like when I start comparing myself with other people's achievement, like what I said earlier, maybe people who already have a good careers or like starting a family or like etc. And then I start to realize that everyone has their own journey, and then everyone has their own timeline, right? And everyone has their own unique way to achieve certain milestones. So I just change my perspective, like rather than focusing on what am I doing so far, like why am I like behind. I start to focusing on like how can I make my own journey uniquely mine. So yeah, I think I just changed the perspective, and then
Yeah, changing perspective turns out can help. Yeah,
Yeah.
That, right, it
Makes
can
a big
help us
difference.
overcoming insecurities, because if you don't change your own mindset, it became something that's stuck and you don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
When someone is already getting better, and you just stuck there,
Yeah.
you're not going anywhere because you feel insecure. Because a lot of people in what I see, a lot of people, when they said they feel insecure, then they, like I already said
Yeah.
this, yeah,
They just do nothing.
Yeah, you just do nothing and you don't go anywhere. But if you find yourself like if you find the thing that you can overcome and change your perspective, it helped. Also, high
And then-
schoolers, have you
yeah.
guys experienced this?
For me, it's a different case. Yeah. So right now, I feel like my uniqueness is in English, right? And my weaknesses is in arts and sports. And at those two, I tend to ask for help to someone that I think is more better than me. And I feel like when the English course starts, everyone seems to be ask for help to me. So it's like I feel like it's balancing. So everyone has their weaknesses and everyone has their uniqueness. So I feel like yeah, it can be used to overcoming your insecurities.
Yeah, for me, actually, I agree with the when you talked about how you just let it not you don't want to improve it, because I actually dealt with a similar experience. Is that I had lower grades than other people, and I always wondered how others do it. How do they get perfect A's? How do they get all hundreds? And instead of, obviously they worked hard for that. They studied hard, but I always thought that, oh, since I can never be like them, I'm not gonna study anyways. But eventually I realized that I'm a fast learner. I can find a way to study efficiently. I can find a way to study, teach myself how to do that, learn how to study correctly, and in turn I actually improved my grades because of that. And of course, you can't achieve anything. You can't fully achieve something without your hard work. So that's when I started to realize that my uniqueness can actually help me overcome that insecurity.
Okay, so Talia said about a fast learner. So the learn efficiently, because we already talk about this in EDF before discussion English discussion forum before. It's about self learners. So you can came back to the episode before, like it's the second episode or the third episode of EDF. So you just can find the video and you can find a way. Maybe you can find a new way of learning too, so you find it as your uniqueness as well. So we came to the end of the discussion. Turns out, this is the end, because we already talked about how to overcome our insecurities, and also we already talk about our own uniqueness, and also the uniqueness, how to use the uniqueness as to overcoming our insecurities. So for me, the summarize of this today's discussion is, we can, instead of using the word insecure, we can just use the word weakness. So instead of that, so we can be better. So we don't stuck and we don't limit ourselves. Also we can embrace ourselves more, because we find ourselves like in something, not in being insecure about something. So because it's mindset. Also, we are born unique. So of course we have our own uniqueness, and it doesn't mean other people cannot have the same uniqueness as us, but because we tend to feel that being unique, it's about being different about others, but it's not about it's not only about like something like that, but also about something that makes you more confident. And also the uniqueness, it's something that you have in yourself. So
not just about the skills, but
Yeah.
the combination of yourself,
personality, the character, and also the skills. So you also can do other people uniqueness. Maybe some of you find yourself have the same uniqueness as mine, or have the same uniqueness as Liza or Kasasa or Talia. So it's common thing, because not we are all born unique. So it's not just it doesn't have to be different, in my opinion. So that's for me. How about you guys?
Okay, so to summarize today's discussion, so today we all already talk about insecurities, and insecurities are just a feeling. So it's just all in our head, like fear of being judged, fear of being criticized, but actually the only judge and the biggest critics of ourselves is ourselves. So I think when we can overcome those insecurities, and when we can shift our perspective, like as what Famita has said, from insecure to weakness, we can actually do something about it, and we're not just stood there, do nothing, and feeling depressed and feeling insecure, but we actually we acknowledge that we have a lack of ability, so we should do something about it and be better and improve ourselves. And overcoming that with embracing your own uniqueness, I think embracing your own uniqueness is one of the keys to overcome your insecurities, because when you embrace your uniqueness, you can start to appreciate yourself. You can start to understand yourself better, like I'm better at this, I'm better at that, and then you stop comparing yourself from other people. And yeah, I think that's all from me.
Yeah. For me, the conclusion that I got is insecurity is something bad that makes you ungrateful and can make your confidence down. And that's why you need to find yourself something that is remarkable in what others think too. So that's why uh, so you can actually be more confident and less insecure about what other people thinks. Yeah, that's
Yeah, to conclude our discussion today, I just want to restate everything that's been said. I think that insecurity is just something we make up in our heads, and instead of leaving it alone and thinking, giving up, thinking that we will never be able to make it, instead we can just take it as a motivation to actually develop our skills and our abilities that we think we don't have. And I think that one of the first steps to do that is to embrace our uniqueness, because you can that can be the positive first step towards overcoming the insecurities that we have.
Yeah. So also to point out something that actually the main point in my opinion, because we talk about insecurities, so being grateful. So you guys have to be grateful about what you already have, and also what you have, and also what because if you guys don't feel grateful, then you start comparing yourself with others, and that kind of like not good in a way. So yeah, so we come to the end of this discussion. Thank you guys for your attention. So if you guys have like a recommendation for the topic to talk to us to talk, or maybe you want to join us here, you can just DM us in Instagram in @Madina Forums. Also, if you guys want to add or you agree with some
With
of our
points,
opinions, or
opinions.
maybe you guys disagree, you can just comment in the comment sections below. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.